Hello divas, dudes, and dolls, I'm Caricature and welcome back to my silly, salacious, and scrumptious little review show, Very Slay, where we go over each and every main stage runway look on Drag Race Espana Season 4. I loved this runway theme because it was Night of 1,000 Anna Lockings, the resident fashion designer judge on this franchise. And they surprised her with this theme. It was so sweet. She had no idea it was coming, and I'm telling y'all, this woman is like, she's the one. She's the ride or die Drag Race judge for me. Like, I absolutely adore her. She's so excited about drag. Her looks that she makes for herself, like every single season, are so ridiculously good. And I love seeing her get draggier and draggier and draggier with each new season. So we have 9 looks to go over today, and I cannot wait to dive into each and every one of them. For those who are unfamiliar with how the show works, if I think that a look met the brief, got the job done, but didn't blow me away, we give it an okay. If I absolutely adore it, we give it a slay, and if I think it really missed the mark, we give it a nay. And that's all in efforts to find my weekly slay of the day, my favorite look out of the entire episode, which will go head to head against my current ranked slay of the season, which is currently La Niña Delanto's Barroco look from episode 2. Whichever look holds this top spot once we've crowned a new winner will get an illustration by me. Sneak peeks and previews of those illustrations can all be found over on my Patreon starting at the $3 tier level, but you can join for free to get caught up on my episode review posts. I know I've been a bit behind on them, but they are coming this week, I promise, for everything. Get over there, stay tuned, read up, because I type a lot. So you have plenty of things to just consume over there. And now that the move is kind of in the final phases, I will soon be able to really hit the ground running on all of the artwork, because the last slay of the season thing I finished was Jarigi's from Espana All-Stars. That was many months ago. So we've got many to do in the meantime. Be sure to go over there. Any support would be greatly appreciated. If you want to support for free, you can always like, comment, and subscribe over here. Help promote the content in the algorithm. Tell your friends all about it, whatever the case may be. I appreciate all of it because we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We are just 220 or so away, which is really exciting. And we are getting closer and closer to racking up all the watch hours that we need. But enough about all of that. Let's dive on into each and every one of these looks. Alright, we are first going to start off this week with Vampirasian, who's doing a little 60s mod moment here. It's very Valley of the Dolls. I think this is a perfect blend of both the original design that this is a reference to and her aesthetic choices. Vampy is very period accurate. She's all about being stuck to a time period. I think this is great. I love the styling. I love the little accessories in the hair. I love this makeup. And this is really different than the aesthetics we've seen from her so far in this season, but it's still just as polished and well put together. This is definitely a slide. Up next, we have La Niña Delantro. This is honestly one of my favorite anti-locking looks across any season of Drag Race Espana. I love the silhouette of the sleeves. Just the overall structure and silhouette of this dress is really solid. And I love the little ruffle at the end of the stockings. It's really darling. It's taken to like the nth degree in terms of taking that original aesthetic and dragging it out. The hair that we see kind of replicated a little more one-to-one in the next look. I love what she did with it because she took the original hairstyle as a point of reference and then she tweaked it and put it into her own drag lane, and I think it's really successful here. Her makeup is my favorite makeup on the runway this week by a long shot. I think she really smashed it out of the park. For me, it's absolutely going to be a slay. Then up next, we have Mariana Stars, who is doing the same look that La Niña Delanto just recreated. I think it looks great. I love this makeup. It's so clean. It's so great. I love all the line work. And I also love that instead of keeping it short, like the original reference, she made this into a gown that's painted with Anna's face on it. The paintwork is stunning. It's done really well. She looks great. I think this is, as a set, easily the most cohesive group, which that's not necessarily like part of the challenge. It helps the two of them did the same point of reference, but I think all 3 of these looks look great together. There was no other choice for the winner this week but the 3 of them between the runways and how well they did in the performance challenge. Absolutely giving her a slay as well. Then up next we have Kelly Pasa, who's doing a look that's more deconstructed and more of a club kid interpretation of this polka dot look. I think this is definitely the furthest extrapolation out of any of the designs, so that's a risk. It's a really big risk. But I actually really like what she did with it. I think the idea of having the polka dots be on large like skewers coming off of the dress so that way they look like pins in a pin cushion, given Anna's occupation, I think is really smart. I think the hair choice is interesting. I think the whole aesthetic here is really fun. This is very in Kelly's lane. That being said, the makeup is not my favorite, but Kelly's not really known for having strong makeup, and I think it just sucks that once again, we have a really artistic, kind of punky queen who just doesn't last long on the show. Her looks are so good, and she's a wonderful storyteller, so I thought this was actually pretty good, but I don't love it, so I'm gonna give it an okay. Then we have Maggie, who's doing this sort of fringy flapper dress, but making it punky. I actually really like what she did with this. I think the fringe is great, and this is easily my favorite look that she's done in the season so far. That being said, I do find it rather unfortunate that the best look she's done over the course of the season is when she is doing someone else's aesthetic and style, and she's recreating a look from someone else, because I still don't feel like I really have an idea on who she is as a performer besides that she's a good dancer. Like, that's the extent of what I know about her. So this is a successful look for me. I'm still gonna give it a slay. I love black and white looks. I think the line work through this is really cool. I think it's a flattering design on her, and I think the makeup is great too. But I'm still waiting to see like her true aesthetic really shine on the runway. Then up next we have Le Coco, who, leave it to her, she's gonna give you something that's really elegant, really timeless, and this is phenomenal. I love the silhouette of this. I love that she just took the idea of a black dress, she pulled some elements from Anna's, kept the outside corset that Anna had in the look she referenced. The hair is pretty similar as well with this little updo. I love her makeup here. It's really subtle, it's really understated for makeup, but I think it works really well. I think just the overall silhouette works really great on her. For me, this is absolutely gonna be a slay. Then up next we have Angelita Leprosa. I don't like this at all. I think having the ova and the cariño on the leg is so tacky. Like, I know she went concept with this. The hair's nice. I don't like the makeup. I don't like the pink tights underneath it or the pink bodysuit under the dress. Not particularly great. I think it's a little bit too much of a departure from the design as well, like with Kelly's, but at least Kelly had a concept that kind of made sense and worked. Angelita's concept was letters on the dress. And I know she was going for like a Victor and Rolf thing, but even then, this doesn't really read as a Victor and Rolf reference. Also, her personality, I really don't care for her that much, so I'm trying to keep that separate from my opinion. She just frustrates me, and I kind of hope she gets eliminated soon. I was kind of hoping she would have gotten eliminated this week, but unfortunately, Kelly is not a dancer, so did not work out that way. It's gonna be a nay. And then we have Chloe Vuittu, who I think the top of this look is really cute. I actually really liked it pre-reveal. The hair is great, the body is great. I think the silhouette looks really, really cute and darling on her. And then she did the reveal, and I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. So much of her stuff that we've seen so far is like, oh, you know, it'd be funny if I had massive tits that I bounced around. If I had her hand that's like constantly tapping her nails together when she gives an ova, wouldn't that be funny if I put that right in my crotch? And then when I walk, the fingers are doing her little signature. I don't know, maybe I'm just being a prude, but I find it a little crass. I know Anna is fine with it and she thought it was great and she enjoyed it. I think it's a great gag, but I don't know. It is kind of a weird choice for me. So I'm gonna give it an okay. And then finally we have Miss Christo. And I think Miss Christo's another one who she stayed pretty true to the reference point, but she did make some differences to make it more tweaked to her aesthetic. I think having this camouflage, very military warrior woman look, that's sort of the energy of the original. What she did with the interpretation of it is really, really great. I think this is one of the more solid looks on the runway this week. It's a great, great standout piece for me. It's clearly the best one of the three in her group. I'm gonna give her a slay. Like, the sleeves alone warrant that from me. Alrighty, so that is a wrap on this episode, and now it's time to pick my slay of the day, my favorite look of the week. And for me, it absolutely has to go to one of those looks from the first group, from the No Pussycat Dolls. I think, though, of the three, my favorite look is going to go to La Niña del Antro. I love what she did with it. I think the silhouette's great. I love the hair choice. And for me, the makeup was the best on the runway this week. I think overall, this was really a strong, solid episode for her. This is one of my favorite looks from her so far this season, easily. So now we're gonna put her head to head up against her Baroque look from episode 2. I think both of these looks are absolutely stunning, phenomenal, gorgeous. But aesthetically, I think there is one look I could do a bit more with in the art department that would be more fun for me to do in the art department, and that is going to be a Baroque look. So that look is going to hold on to the top spot for yet another week, heading into our next episode with our top 8. So we're quickly approaching the halfway point, and I can't wait to see how the rest of this season turns out, because I think it's been very good, Angelita drama aside, because she pisses me off. But yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Be sure, as always, to like, comment, and subscribe, all those lovely little things, and go out there, y'all. Stay kind, stay queer, and make sure that your day is very slay.